Good day, everyone. Welcome to Home at the Hollow. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. This is going to go, I hope, very quickly. This is a fusion brownie pecan pie dessert, so to speak. But I'm going to start with a 9 by 13, and I picked the largest 9 by 13 pan that I had because this is going to go in and bake separately, kind of like in 2 layers, so to speak. I'm going to bake the first brownie layer, and then I'm going to do the pecan pie layer on top of that. But this is, now if you want to do a scratch chocolate brownie, go for it. I've been turning food over in my pantry. I've done a like a pineapple upside down cake thing. I'll drop a link to that below. And it was really super easy. It was super good, but I'm going to just take a dark chocolate, and it doesn't even have to be dark chocolate. If you have just chocolate, devil's food, whatever you have, cake mix, a half a cup of vegetable oil or olive oil. That I'm using vegetable oil, 2 eggs well beaten with 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. If you want milk chocolate, dark chocolate, whatever you want. If you want to increase it to 3/4 of a cup, that's awesome too. But I want just a little bit of chocolate moving through here because we're already dark chocolate. So I'm going to mix this in. My oven, I think y'all can hear, is going now. I've got a fusion Mongolian meatloaf. And so this is my fusion brownie pecan pie sort of type thing. So I'm mixing it up today, but I'm going to just mix these together, pour this in a very well greased pan, and bake it like you would ordinarily bake brownies. 350, 25 minutes. Start checking it at doneness. You don't want it to be overdone to where the edges are crispy and brown, because we are going to be putting on another layer and putting it back in the oven. But 350 just until done, 20-25 minutes. And so for this to go really quick and easy, I'm going to just beat my eggs together first. I'm going to add my vegetable oil. I've got my cake mix here, y'all know how to do this. But if you don't, it's always a good idea to have your eggs beat ahead of time. And I have my chocolate standing by, just a very quick. I may have to scrape my bowl here, I'm not sure. And if you have to add any, if it just seems like it's just too thick, remember, it's supposed to be a brownie. It's not going to pour like a cake mix. But if you have to add anything to it, I would not advise adding any more eggs or anything like that. I probably, knowing me, I would probably add a little splash of coffee if I felt like I needed to loosen this up. Excuse me, y'all. So it's looking pretty good. It is definitely a thick batter, but it is smooth. Just to give you an idea of what to expect. And a few chocolate chips. Yes, the Mongolian meatloaf smells wonderful. Oh my goodness. I will drop a link to that below. And if you have a favorite meatloaf sauce that you know, is yours. This has a sauce that goes with it too. You can always just make the meatloaf just like it is. But here we are. It is so easy. I'm gonna get it spreaded out and this baked. I've just finished spreading this out, and I'm gonna say at 350, I'm gonna definitely, I think I'm gonna start checking it at like 15 minutes because I don't want to go way over, but 350, 15 to 20 minutes. So I've just taken, I think y'all can see my brownies out of the oven. They are just done. That took all of 16, 17 minutes. Of course, I put it in a really hot oven. The meatloaf is in there too. So I've just got 2 room temperature eggs. I'm gonna take a pinch of salt. I've got a cup of brown sugar, lightly packed, and I can see I'm not gonna have enough room, but I've got 3 cups of rough chopped pecans. You can chop them as fine as you want. And so really quickly, I'm just gonna pour these nuts in a bigger bowl. So I brought my brownies over, really, really hot, but my eggs, what I'm going to add is a splash, being, let's just say a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And how about a splash, being a teaspoon of bourbon, whatever you have, just a titch, not a lot. It bakes out anyway, and I think you can see I can just barely smell the bourbon. And you don't have to add the bourbon either. So as long as you have a teaspoon or 2 of vanilla, it's totally fine. And I can hear my fur babies starting to complain a little bit. Just give it a good stir. Make sure everything is totally wet, totally moistened. And it's just really just that easy. And then just yes, everyone's gonna love this. And that was, just 3 cups of chopped pecans. There we go. I'm going to put this back in the oven at 350, still very hot, probably 15 to 20 minutes. So my brownie pecan pie sheet is actually totally cooled. We had a little bit of a power outage here, and the weather really hasn't been that bad. It's just, a few hours, but this actually just finished baking when we lost power, so it all worked out. It totally worked out. Except this isn't coming out. Oh. And there we go. I can tell you, and I have to admit, while waiting for the power to come back on, I actually took a little bit of here and there, and it is delicious. I know that this is so good. I hope that y'all can see it. This is, I don't know, this is absolutely, I can tell you, is going to be rich and decadent. I hope you give it a try this holiday season, and thank you for joining me here home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.